Hello friends, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming and welcome to another Path of Exile video. In today's video I'm going to focus on 3 unique items that enable you to play builds without having to worry about farming a 6 link. You can get these really cheaply. 2 of them are 1 alteration each and 1 of them is 1 chaos, and they are able to take you all the way to red maps. I tested this and I'll do a demonstration after I get done explaining, but first, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, maybe leave me a comment, and check out my other content on the channel. I am going to go through these one by one and explain what you need to do and how you need to link them in order to make powerful builds, and I'm starting with my Holy Flame Totem character right here. The first item is Nykta's Lantern, which gives a nice hefty 2 to the level of socketed fire gems, gives fire pen for free, and gives a fair amount of additional fire damage. This is going to be a functional 5 link in that fire penetration is kind of a more damage multiplier, and you get a decent amount of damage from the +2 level of socketed fire gems, which is another functional more multiplier. So all you have to do, I have it currently linked with added fire damage and infused channeling, but there's a lot of different support skills you can use with this. You can use faster casting, you can use physical lightning. There's plenty of other additional links you can use to it. I kind of have things moved over a little bit here, but it is more than capable of doing a nice amount of damage output. As you can see, I'm doing 48.3k damage per totem unbuffed, and once I get my buffs up, it ends up being a nice hefty amount, a little over 100k per totem. So a nice 400k DPS, more than capable of taking you into red maps. It's still a nice boss killer, and it's one of the ones I would recommend. Alright, our next character is going to be using Bitter Dream, which is a little bit of an interesting one. It's going to be a Winter Orb character, and Bitter Dream is an item that you can't even sell for currency. It just gives you back a bunch of gems, but the gems it happens to have synergize really well with Winter Orb. Hypothermia is used in almost every single setup. Ice Bite, well, usually I'll just put that on my Herald of Ice along with Onslaught in order to generate those Frenzy. But the Frenzy charges are definitely going to be useful elsewhere. That way you have less mana reserved. Cold Penetration, a more damage multiplier in this case. You get Mana Leech, because this is functionally going to end up being something like an 8 link, I think. Yeah, we get 8 support gems, so technically a 9 link. We are going to need the reduced mana cost and the mana leech, and then we have added cold, which isn't really an optimal setup, and it's only level 10. That and Ice Bite aren't going to give you a lot of added cold damage, but they are going to give you the more damage of having frenzy charges and a little bit extra damage there. So the mandatory links are going to be Winter Orb and Greater Multiple Projectiles. The third one, I'm using Increased Duration for clearing, but you can also use Infused Channeling or potentially Increased Critical Strikes, something along those lines instead, and it might serve you just as well. It'll definitely be better for bossing. One of the weak points of using Increased Duration over something like Infused Channeling is it does quite a bit less damage in exchange for faster clear time on the maps. So if you want to go for something that's a little better bossing, you can switch this over to Infused Channeling and it'll probably serve you quite a bit better. Alright, and our final one, our final build defining unique is going to be Allelopathy. Allelopathy grants 22 Blight, which makes it an instant 5 link and an over-leveled Blight, so you're going to get a substantial damage increase from that. Not only that, but it gives you a decent amount of energy shield, so you can use it on an energy shield build such as this. I did disable my Pain Attunement in order to show this, because generally this is a low life build, but in this particular case I wanted to show off the damage without that 30% more damage multiplier. But I currently have Controlled Destruction, Infused Channeling, Void Manipulation, and Efficacy. So it does grant a very hefty amount of more damage multipliers, also gives you increased hinder duration and area of effect. I don't know that there are a lot of enemies that hinder you, but you can't be hindered either. So it is overall a very nice pair of gloves, and if you want to switch over your build once you've saved more currency, you can easily go for something like a Bane build and take off one of the support gems, switch it to a red socket, and put the multi-totem support and totem, so double red. That way you can use the Blight Totem to apply stacks of Wither using the gem that allows you to give Wither stacks with Blight, which is very useful as well, and it provides a decent amount of damage. So one big question is, why would you want to start with these items? Why would you want to get these items? Well, the main reason is that they allow you to get to the end game content, or towards the end game content, where you're going to make more money. You're going to make more money selling red maps and some of the higher tier uniques that you can get from higher maps than you are at lower tier maps. If you just spend forever piddling around in white maps or low yellow maps, you're going to have a hard time. This will allow you to clear up to the closer to end game, so you can save up for a 6th link, you can get these more powerful items for your build, and you can really get going. This allows you to kind of scrape by from the bare minimum and work your way up. So it's mostly just a money saving technique. It's really great in the beginning of a league. These are super attainable right from the get-go. Maybe Allelopathy is a little bit more expensive in the beginning of a league because other people might want to use it, but Bitter Dream is always going to be super cheap, and Night Does Lantern's always going to be very, very cheap. So you're going to be able to get these very common unique items right away and get started and start clearing out those maps really quick. Maybe start selling some, maybe start shaping your atlas right away so you can set up for a good divination card farming strategy. There's just a lot of reasons to start off with this if you don't already have currency going into it. So league starters, this makes them much more appealing and much more powerful, and it can really push you forward. So that would be the main reason I would use those. Alright, so we're going to start off with the Night Does Lantern, Holy Flame Totem. We're going to just pop into this Temp Chains, more monster life, extra damage is lightning map here. So it's not exactly a super difficult map, but it's not an easy one either. It's only a tier 11, but this is a proof of concept. You can definitely optimize and set it up in such a way that you can more easily. But as you can see, the clear speed is pretty decent. I'm not even using my Diamond Flask or my Ziri's Promise. So you can just go through here. Nice little 3-link, kind of a pseudo 5-link. Got some gems to level up. And we'll be going nice and slow. Good old Temp Chains, picking Temp Chains for my demonstration. I mean, I just elked it and picked whatever it rolled on. I don't think I would have bothered to re-roll. Not a lot of things you have to worry about when you're playing on a totem build in terms of mods. Just maybe no regen. So the clear is quite quick, and this is one alteration. I don't know why people would bother selling something for one alteration. I feel like it's not worth the time of making the trade, but there are people out there selling it. So we're gonna move on towards the end. I'm not gonna bother picking anything up unless it's something like an Exalt or maybe a Chaos. But I don't wanna see in the comments, hey, you left all your rares and your blacksmith whetstones in the bottom. I know. Maybe I'll go back in between while I'm editing or after the video when I'm done filming it. I just kind of want to run through here, show you the boss kill. We'll see. So get a nice quick kill on that. Not the quickest in the world, but certainly not slow by any stretch of the imagination. And drop all of our totems here. Go ahead and curse and stand right in the poison. Perfect. So nice quick kill there, and moving on to the next one. Alright, next we got the Bitter Dream. So this is going to be a 9 link technically, but there are a lot of kind of lower links and no added damage from the rest of the weapon. This one's just monster variety, LE weakness, monster damage, and 2 additional projectiles. Could be annoying, but it's not an extremely difficult map by any stretch of the imagination. But it's going to be Dig. And as you can see, reasonably quick clear here as well. Looks like we got some bestiary mobs. Well, I don't know how heavily I should engage with those. So I just kind of want to get to the end and kill the boss here, but once again I'll pop through and pick up any currency or anything I leave behind and finish it after I'm done. So don't you worry about that. Got that all taken care of, and I leveled up. This one's only just hit level 85. The other character was 91, so they are a bit higher level, but you'll work your way up there while doing, you know, your white and yellow maps. And alright, try to keep away from this. Sometimes I'm not very attentive, so I'm not the greatest at this boss fight on occasion. Make sure we keep up the curse. And as you can see, this one's a little bit slower of a boss killer. You can definitely improve that by having infused channeling instead, but it will slow down the actual clear. So, here I am standing in these tornadoes. There you go. Alright, so got that all taken care of, and moving on to our last build. Alright, and last but not least, we have our Allelopathy gloves. We're going to be running a tier 12 this time, Malformation. It's not a very hard one once again, just what I got. Totems, extra damage is lightning, power charges, and point blank, so we could get shocked pretty hard. That could be fun. I'm also missing all the energy shield from my discipline on this one, so I'll be a little bit squishier than I would normally be just because I got rid of the pain attunement. But that's okay. I didn't want to add that 30% more damage to kind of skew what we're looking at damage-wise. And even without the 30%, it seems to be pretty effective in terms of almost standing in a firewall. Seems to be fairly effective overall. It's also quite the boss killer if you've never used Blight before. It is quite powerful as a boss killer. Right, and we're just gonna run through here. Not gonna bother picking that much up, even though I already have. Not gonna go ahead and use Vol Blight for that. Alright, not gonna. I'll go back and clean all of those up. Just a demo, not a full map clear. Alright, so pretty decently quick kills. Of course, you do notice a difference. You can just tap as well, and it'll kill most white packs. Sometimes you'll need a little bit more than that to kill rare mobs, but yeah, as it is a level 22 Blight, it's more than capable. Ooh, I'm not going to leave that. Take the red map. More than capable of taking out your standard pack of monsters with just a simple tap of your button. Blue mobs take a little bit more than that, but tap, tap, boom. Easy peasy. 5 link. There are a lot of mobs here, but that's okay. Alright, and just nearly to the boss here. This should be an interesting boss for us. Proximity shields mean nothing to Blight. Good old chaos going right through it. Alright, and so we're going to put up our wither totems, and we are going to move out of the way of that bleed. And pretty quick kill there. So Yeah, not too bad. I hope you enjoyed. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I will see you next time. Bye!